Yeah, you bet. It's time to stream. Hey there, Sassnicks. Good to see everybody out there. I will be by myself today. It's so lonely. It's so cold out here in the streets. I've sent Jim on a grand task. It must be completed. What that task is private, but it'll happen. He'll complete it, and he'll be here on the next stream. Hello, Night Fury. Good to see ya. What up, Liger? Thanks for joining the stream. So tonight, we're gonna work a little more on Shadow the PitchHog, episode 13. I forgot the episode for a second. It's crazy because we have quite a few of these now. I'm really excited to be able to work on this. Today has been a good day so far. What up, Supersonic fan? Good to see ya. But today's gonna be like super chill. Just gonna be making some keyframes and kind of building that out. So, as an advance warning, if I don't get to the chat quickly, please forgive me. So just kind of give you guys some updates. What up, Lady Gray? Good to see you. We are working on collab episode 5 for the mainstay animation. All the environments are done. We kind of showed you guys what was going on with that last time. We just did some voiceover recording today for the episode. It was a lot of fun. Good performances all around. Some good stuff going on there. So this week, we're going to be finishing out... what are we finishing out this week? What's today? Friday? This is what we're finishing out this week. So I guess for finish out the week, I'm going to be doing some animation with Shadow the PitchHog. So next week is going to be finishing up the audio recording for collab episode 5. And we're going to be doing some principal animation because we got some lines that we needed so that we could start. It's going to be a little out of sequence, but that's okay. We usually don't go in sequence when we animate. It's like whatever we get, we can start working on. So that's going to be featuring a scene with Amy. It's going to be cool. She's going to be driving a car. I wouldn't want to be anywhere near that, but luckily I'm not a cartoon. So I think it's going to probably take like... because we have a lot of the pre-production now done. So I would say principal animation's probably going to take a month and a half to 2 months because that episode is 15 minutes long. And then it's just post-production after that, rendering and all that good stuff. We've never rendered out anything this long before. So it's going to be really interesting to kind of see what happens with that. But we'll go from there. I'm going to be having a special guest tonight.
Are we now?
No. She's about to show up.
Let me go ahead.
Jump on in.
Yay! Oh!
You hit the heater?
I did hit the heater, the defunct heater. Hello, everyone. I'm lurking in the shadows.
Yeah. It
That's
seems
okay.
like it. There you go.
Yay!
Can give me a quick test? Let's see.
Test.
Yep, we can hear you. Excellent.
Hello, everybody. Oh my gosh! Hi, Lady Gray and Night Fury Lover and Tiger Liger. Hello! Oh my gosh, it's so good to see everyone.
Oh yeah.
I missed you all.
So, Night Fury has a question. The big question
Ooh.
is, will this new episode mention Jonathan Taylor Thomas, JTT, as it were?
Ooh.
I don't think JTT is in this episode. I could be completely wrong, but as I remember, I don't think he's in this episode. I think he's in episode 12. So this episode got broken into 2 episodes because it was
Ooh.
like way too long. So
Oh, no.
it was like the runtime I think on this is like 6 minutes and 30 seconds, basically. So our episodes were shot at the PitchHog are anywhere from like 2.5 to 3 minutes. So I was like, I gotta split this thing up. So
Episode 12, part 1. Episode 12, part 2.
it's just gonna be 13. So, but in the next episode with the next set of dialogue, JTT is mentioned heavily. It's pretty great. It's Shadow's pitch to like really bring JTT's career back from the dead to the next like level. So
It's about to be back in a big way.
yeah. So I think that what I'm going to be working on is setting up those keyframes.
Yeah,
Let's
I'm
go
excited.
ahead and jump into that. I guess I can show you guys what we were working on last time.
I got my nice hot mug of tea to keep me warm.
So the day I was working on this, I got from here to here. But then I did this in the stream,
Oh,
which
nice.
was not bad for 10 minutes of work. So this is what we had last time.
I can't see anything bad happening from that. It's not like people are impressionable or anything.
Definitely not. Listen, if I was, say, on a political platform, and I...
Perfect. So that's where we're at. And I might be a little quiet while I'm doing this because that is generally how I animate. I get really focused and zeroed in. But we'll talk about some stuff while that's all happening. Thank you, Lady Gray. The performances by Sasso and Vinny just
They
nailed it.
knocked it out of the park.
Every
Every
time.
time.
Every
Yeah.
time. Every time.
Every time. Wow.
But we'll see how far we get tonight. We've
Ooh.
got almost an hour to kind of work with, so we should get pretty far. Let's see where I'm at here.
And I said,
Okay, so let's hear this voice line back.
and I said, platform.
Okay, so I need something a little different there. Let's open his hand back up. This is the beauty about cut and paste.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and split the screen here. Now on my setup, I've got dual screen going on, but unfortunately, there's like this weird error we keep coming in contact with, and it's like says the hardware for some is a 403 hardware issue here.
Oh no.
I'm not quite
What
sure
that means.
what that means because it's saying like, oh, your graphics cards are not working, and I've tried the other two and it seems like it still comes up with the message. So I think it's actually an issue with not plugging both monitors into one graphics card.
Oh, interesting.
So I think it's just because it's taking up a lot more memory. Blender's like, I can't do it. So I actually have to get now that I'm thinking about that, I have to get a display port adapter from the HDMI cord.
Display port adapter. I will write that down.
Yeah, because these
got you,
monitors
bro.
only have, thank you, these monitors only have HDMI outputs and what is it, VGA. So I need an adapter that can go to HDMI to a display port, so I can put that into the display port of one of the graphics cards, and I'm pretty sure that will fix the issue, and I'll be able to dual screen again. Also, I can't dual screen because we gotta see the chat.
Oh yeah.
Gotta be able to
Speaking
talk to y'all.
of the chat, Night Fury Lover says, Mel, you were great in Rui's video. Quote, incredible.
So, thank you. Totally forgot the lines that I had said and what it sounded like until I watched the episode. And just a shout out to Rui. Dude,
Rui's great.
keeps improving the episodes. Each time I see a new one, animation skills are getting better and better, and storytelling skills getting better and better. It's just freaking awesome to watch anybody within the community making better productions as they go along and not like sacrificing time for quality. So it's always fun to work on a project with Rui, and beyond just like the collab episode movie hops that we did, it's been fun to do voices for Rui. So
Oh yeah, Rui's the man.
that role in particular was a lot of fun. I do remember that. I just couldn't remember like what we were. And then when I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, that's great.
Lady Gray says, Melvin, you guys are doing amazing jobs with the animations. To be honest, you guys made my day.
Oh, I'm glad.
Aww.
Political platform, and I.
So we're gonna take, because that's too slow. I'm gonna grab this thing over here and space that out probably here.
Platform, and I.
Yeah, there we go. That's what I want. So I'm like super into timing and frames when it comes to animation.
Yeah.
I'm like a huge stickler for how many frames a second. Where does this frame need to go? It helps a lot in terms of planning things out. Case in point, just being able to go, I don't really like the timing of that. I know which frame I need to put it on, get it the first time, and kind of move on. So that stuff is great. But like, what? Not even a few minutes, and we've already got a couple of key poses ready to go. Some animation in betweening happening there, and the last thing we'll do for the principal animation later is add in the secondary action.
Ooh.
And we have bone dynamics for that. I don't know if you guys use Blender out there, and if you do use any add-ons, one of the best ones that we've been able to use is bone dynamics. It saved us a lot of time with doing the secondary animation. It basically simulates gravity and physics and things like that, and you can attach it to bones, and it's freaking great. I don't know how else to say it. So let's see what we got next.
And I said for people.
I'm gonna take this hand gesture again and put it over here,
Yeah.
and we're gonna grab this, and then I'm gonna grab another pose.
And I said for people to.
Because there's a pose that I used before that I really liked. Shadow kind of does this and looks down, and I think I'm going to have him go do that with when he goes, I don't know. That is Super Nintendo voicing Shadow, by the way, everyone. Like, one of the best, if not the best Shadow voice I've ever heard. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I love Vinny. Vinny's great. J Pig, what's up?
J-Pig, hello.
How you doing, dude? Good to see ya. Let's see.
How about this for cinematic universe? Listen, if there's anything we.
Yeah, here we go. Now, I'm going to adjust this pose because there's some stuff about it I'm not really a fan of from the last episode. There's some clipping issues and all kinds of wackiness happening, so I'm going to fix it.
Yeah, you can do it.
Let's see. Let's grab you and let's bring you way the heck over here.
Say on.
And
I don't know.
yeah, like somewhere around here. And I'm going to have to reset the position of the quills. Let's see. Just
I don't know.
yeah, that's pretty good. Let me go. Where are we? 689. Let's go to 6092. I think that's gonna be. That's gonna probably give me the timing I'm looking for.
I don't know.
Yep, there we go.
Lady Gray asks a question in the chat.
What up?
Have you guys seen Sonic 3?
No, I have not
Nope.
seen Sonic 3. Evelyn hasn't seen Sonic 3. I don't think Jim has seen Sonic
I think
3.
Jim has seen like bits and pieces
I've
in
seen-
passing.
I've seen like the scene with Jim Carrey. Well, Jim Carrey dancing with Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
The generational dance, as I called it. I've only seen that scene. Shadow759 showed me, but I have not seen the movie. Lady Gray, have you seen Sonic 3? What did you think of it?
She also asks, have you played Minecraft? Because there's the movie coming out next month. I forgot that movie was coming out next month.
Yeah,
It just sort of washed over me.
yeah, it felt like it was gonna be a while before it came up. I guess it's
Yeah.
coming now.
I guess so.
Lady Gray said the Minecraft movie, huh? I have played Minecraft. I haven't played a lot of Minecraft because games like that are a problem for me. Not because I don't like them. I love games like that.
Oh yeah, that's you.
Minecraft, Conan Exiles, Roller Coaster Tycoon. Like, I love simulations and building games like that. It's just like, I started playing it when it first came out, and I thought it was really fun. And I think like I played it for, I'm not even kidding, like 2 days straight. And I was like, this is a problem. I have to stop. So, I definitely like games like that. This is the same thing with Conan Exiles. It was free on the PlayStation 4 PSN, and I played it for 2 weeks, and I was like working and then like stopping and then going to play Conan Exiles, and I had to uninstall it because I just like was like I gotta stop. If I don't do this, I'm gonna keep going. So, but that's the Minecraft movie is wild to me because knowing how some of these, it's like, you know, Fortnite, obvious, it's gonna get a movie at some point.
Oh yeah.
But you just, I remember being around games when they were first coming out and thinking like, where could these games go? It's gonna be wild if they get big. Fortnite was, I used to cover E3 for gaming journalism, and I remember when that first showed up to E3 and it was like a party, and I was like, this game is going to make so much money. It's ridiculous. And here we are. So one of the things I appreciate about stuff like that is it provides a lot of jobs for people. And I'm glad that people are benefiting from the growth that it's had.
Yeah.
So, you know, like, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
Demetrius, I too miss E3.
Demetrius, hello.
And we missed you.
We missed you.
Glad to see you. JPEG said the choice to pair Jim Carrey with equally iconic Jim Carrey led to some great laughs. I love that.
That's true. The only person who can outact Jim Carrey is Jim Carrey.
If anyone's gonna outact me, it's gonna be me.
Exactly.
I don't know.
I do think that's a fun decision.
All right, let's see. What are we doing here? Let's see what's going on with the quills first.
I don't know.
Oh, that's not bad. Okay, I'll keep the quills where they are. But I'm definitely going to be changing some of this movement going on here with the hands. We've got some clipping going on up here. Let's grab that and bring that down.
Demetrius makes a point about E3. He says, and then again, if it started back up again with how Sony and Microsoft is currently, it wouldn't feel the same.
Oh, no, definitely not. Like, when it was ending, it felt like it was over, if that makes sense. Like, E3 hadn't been open to the public in a really long time. I was covering it as press, and I had my video team there, and so we didn't have to deal with a lot of the people coming through. But when they opened it up to the public, it was just like, you guys tried this before many, many years ago, and it didn't work. So obviously this is like it. Like, you're ending it. So it was kind of bittersweet, the last E3. Partially, too, because 2020 hit, and it just can't sound, it's like, oh, it's over.
Yeah.
It's just done. But, you know, there we go. Let me get this elbow flipped around a little bit.
I remember, like, in 2020, like, wondering if it was, like, the end for, like, a lot of different events.
Yeah. It's true.
Thankfully, many were able to bounce back. So, it's good.
It's true. Alright, here we go.
This looks like so much fun to pose all the models.
It is a lot of fun. I've always enjoyed, especially 3D. I enjoy moving this stuff around and doing all of that.
I feel like that would be something that I would enjoy, even though I do not enjoy animating.
You know, it helps open up the threshold, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
when you're doing 2D animation, if you don't have like not even the fortitude, but if you just don't have like the joy for it, it can be a slog. That's some good offset there. I'm gonna have to move his inhibitor ring. So one of the things I've been thinking about doing for the new models that we're gonna be making at some point is getting rid of Shadow's inhibitor rings and the cuff, because they
Oh.
twist up a lot and they're
They
really difficult
do.
to animate. But who knows? We may keep it. Like, let's do something like
I
that.
love these characters and their weird proportions.
Their wackiness. There we go. Something like that. One of these bones is the cuff. I think it's this one.
So Night
No,
Fury
that's the
Lover
elbow.
from the chat says, regardless of what regardless of what you think of the Sonic movies, it sure looks better than Mufasa. And this is coming from someone whose favorite childhood Disney film is The Lion King.
You know,
Yeah.
listen, we all make mistakes, and Disney's been making a lot of them. It's what it is. I mean, that is. Yeah, that did happen. One of the things that I have found myself kind of thinking in like the last, I'd say, I don't know, 15 years, is that like a lot of the Disney films I grew up with had not great messages, and it was masked under music and like some of the best animation you'll ever see. Like, there's parts of the things where I'm not like, oh, I'm so jaded and I'm older. It's like, no, they're like the movies. There's parts of them just fantastic. You can't argue with it. But that's kind of wherein lies the history of Disney, where you can kind of see the issues going all the way stemming back from Cinderella and Pinocchio and Snow White, and those movies being like make or break for Disney. And then you get to the more new movies in like the late 80s and the early 90s, and you kind of see this weird quality dip. And it's really strange because in some of the parts where it's like some of the morals and the messages in the movies seem to kind of dip, you get this aspect of the animation has never been cleaner. It's never looked better. And so there are parts that kind of start to go back and forth with, is this better? Is it worse?
Yeah. And in the late 80s, that's also when they had Howard Ashman and Alan Menken come on for music, and that started with The Little Mermaid. And the music is just like fantastic, like knocks your socks off.
Yeah, it's interesting to kind of think about all of those things, but it's like the film industry and entertainment industry as a whole has been going in different directions for a long time. I would definitely argue stuff now is made cheaper, and I can feel that.
Yeah.
But, and a big but, the accessibility to being able to make films and music and television or comic books or anything else from people that wouldn't have had that opportunity is bigger than it has ever been before. And I think that's the stuff that I'm a lot more interested in. The industry as an industry, I don't find myself kind of like going, oh, when's this new movie coming out? I'm so much more invested into what people in like the Sonic community or other communities do, and looking to see what people do on their own. And that, in terms of quality, I would almost argue I've never seen things as good as that kind of stuff. So I always get pumped for anybody putting out a new episode, especially when you're like, man, some of this stuff is like a one-man production, one-woman production. Like, people are just doing it.
That stuff's insane.
So,
I love it. I love that
cool.
people are just able to make great things and like not need, big studio money or studio equipment. It's all just like there for you, and it's accessible.
Oh yeah. Why are you highlighted? There's something with the root. There we go. Can you see it?
Oh yeah. Demetrius said, "Do you think Sonic's relevance is going to stick around past movie 4 if it even happens? Amy and Metal aren't that big of characters, and a big female cheap actress is even more of a miracle."
It's like, Sonic has had this weird, is just kind of stuck around kind of mentality and vibe to it. You know what I mean? Like, there have been times where people were like, this is gonna be it. And it honestly felt like it was like, are they slowing down? I do think that Sega is getting to a point. We know that the IDW comics are probably going to be slowing down, and IDW is selling off IP and has been, and that's probably closing down soon. There are elements to the franchise that do not feel like, it doesn't feel like it's going to be run by Sega, at least. I think that's where my thought process is. I don't think Sonic's going to shut down, if that makes sense. It's a long-standing franchise, and from a business aspect, when you have something with that much IP or that many different directions it could go, it's worth selling it if you don't want to do anything with it anymore. And someone picking that up would inherit an entire community, a huge audience, and a bunch of different franchises they could essentially revamp if they wanted to. So I don't necessarily think that Sonic is going to die out as much as it is, and I've said this for a while. I just see Sega selling it at some point, because there's an eventual transition between Sega Sammy and the franchise, which is Sonic as a franchise, as a video game, doesn't sell or make as much money as their pachinko machines. So there's like a certain profitability to it where it's like, it's probably worth holding on, integrating people into things that they can do more as adults, and then at some point like selling that off. So I think in terms of all of that, it's important to kind of remember this is a business at the end of the day, and I think that is where it's going to be kind of heading.
Right. JPig makes a point, says a single frame of Toy Story took like a day to render. Now you could render that same frame in 2 seconds on your home computer.
Yeah.
I actually saw, I don't remember what documentary it was, but there was like, I think some Disney documentary I watched a long time ago, and it said that with the current, render farm setup that they have now, they could render the whole, entirety of the original Toy Story in under the time it takes to actually watch the movie.
I mean, here's a free piece of software, and if I just jump over to a different render viewer, we basically get Toy Story.
Yep.
I would argue even better, and this is not even the full 3D render with a click of a button. And if I play that back,
I don't know.
it plays back in real time.
Yeah.
It's kind of insane when you think about stuff like that and how accessible it is now. And the software is free. It's wild. But
I don't know.
probably come back down to the open hand, I think is what I'm going to do.
Can I read more from the chat? I don't want to distract you.
You
from
can read as much as you want.
animating. Night Fury Lover, on the topic of the Sonic comics, says, according to Evan Stanley herself, the IDW comics have no plans on slowing down with Sonic. I saw her share that a couple days ago. They're just wrapping up plot points to start new stories.
So something...
And then Demetrius had a follow-up to that.
Oh, okay.
They said, I think the folks at IDW are going to work hard on their sinking ship until it gets to that point where they feel they have to leave.
So something that we have to remember is that the people who make the comics don't make the executive decisions of fiscal or partner of business decisions, right? They are the people who produce the work.
Yeah.
So they may not have any plans themselves on slowing down, but the company that owns the publishing company and or the people who hire the people out might have other plans. And one of the things that I'm very much against with what Sega does, especially with its workers, is that they allow the workers to kind of be the scapegoat. So let's just say that Evan Stanley said all of those things and IDW goes under tomorrow. People are not going to say, oh, Sega, why did you do that? They're going to look at Evan Stanley and go, well, why did you say you were doing all this stuff when it got shut down? Which is not okay. I think having marketing and press teams and all that geared towards a company and a team, those types of things they should be talking about. And the only thing that I think that workers should be doing is talking about the next thing that they're working on and when it actually is coming out. So cleared to be able to say, hey, issue number 123 coming out next Wednesday. Go check it out. I did this stuff on it. Really excited to show you guys, because what it creates is the wrong place to put blame when business decisions go wrong. And those business decisions lie with producers, publishers, studios, that kind of stuff. So that's just kind of like my thought process on it. And it's unfortunate because even people like in DC would talk about that stuff. The New 52, when that Batman series and the DC series for that was ending, we all thought we were getting more comics, and we were and the people that were doing, oh, we're getting more comics, and then it stopped. And of course you can't blame the people doing the comics. They're not in charge of that. For all they know, they are working on the next thing. But that's kind of where I sit with that. And unfortunately, I have to take it with a grain of salt when a worker, a comic book artist or a storyboard artist or anyone is like at the forefront of that. I'm like, I don't think you should have to do this, number one. Number two, you know, I know you're not in control of it. So hopefully you get to do the thing that you love doing and people get to enjoy your stories longer. But in terms of like where IDW is going, it's kind of like if you just stop thinking about what Evan Stanley is saying or Ian Flynn or anyone else and you just look at the business pattern, it's very clear IDW is selling off their IP and they are not renewing contracts. They're liquidating, and liquidating means going out of business. So we kind of know that's what's happening. Yeah. And it's unfortunate because the future of some of these comics, and I know people's favorite stories is like, you know, what's going to happen to it. But one of the things I do like, and one of the things I think we as people, when we're participating in the entertainment industry, both from an audience perspective or from an employee perspective, is no matter what happens to the publisher, no matter what happens to the project, the people I think we should be supporting are the people that worked on the stuff. Yeah. And so wherever they can get their next job or make their own next project by themselves or with people, that's what I'm excited for. So it sucks when someone loses their job, but hopefully we can find ways to support each other more in all those things and figure out like how we can kind of like keep that stuff going. Yeah.
So Night Fury Lover follows up something that you said by saying like how people blamed Ian Flynn for the changes in Sonic Generations, even the animations, when he has no power over that part of the game.
Yep.
And it reminds me...
What were you saying?
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
I was going to say, it reminds me of, with the show, The Owl House, even though I'm not, like, the biggest fan of the show.
Sure.
It was, like, pretty messed up what happened, because they had a whole, like, season 3 planned and everything. And then Disney was like, actually, you're just gonna have 3 long episodes to wrap up the entirety of the story. You're not getting season 3. Yeah. And I just think that sucks that the businesses have to make those moves and then throw the creators under the bus for it.
Scapegoats.
Yeah. But now the creator of Owl House is like working on her own show that's like independent, I think. Or maybe it's with Glitch Productions or something. But I think it's really great that there are like alternatives now for people that want to make something. It says, well, okay, big company, if this is what you're gonna do, we don't have to do that. I can take another route.
Take horse.
Yeah, you're absolutely right on all that stuff. And that's part of what we were talking about earlier, is just more options now so that you can make the thing you want to make. There is a lot of red tape when you are working in the entertainment industry with a show that you are asking to be funded by the studio, because their main concern is profits and the bottom line.
Yeah. And
so there are going to be compromises you have to make with the show. There's no show unless you're Matt Groening or what's his name, Kevin McFarlane, or you're, you know, what's my man's name, King of the Hill?
What's his Mike Judge.
Mike Judge. Unless you're one of those, or a big name, or a big producer, and not necessarily an executive producer, but you don't get that kind of freedom to kind of do whatever you want, because your name doesn't have the same pull to where they know when they make that investment, we're going to get that big ROI on that. even Sonic, as long as Sonic's been around, is a high risk situation for a studio. So there have been plenty of things that have not, quote unquote, been financially successful about the movies. The recent movie did better, but about the movies, the spin-offs, they're investments for later payoffs. And sometimes that's what you do as a studio. You invest into something and say, I'm not going to make my ROI off of this first installment. It might come on the 4th, 5th, 6th, whatever. But being able to invest into those franchises, those studios, make those decisions, and then all of a sudden, your original vision or whatever it was starts to kind of get messed with. And we also have now the ability to use social media to influence, as the audience, how we see films coming up. A direct example is Sonic Movie 1, which I still to this day think we should have had that original model. That would have been so funny.
That would have been so good.
I would have had a great time.
I think it would have made it a ton of money just because it's so ugly.
It would have been huge. It would have been wild.
Or if they really want to make more money, they should just release the original cut.
They gotta do it, or at least put it in with a digital download or a Blu-ray as a special feature or something. That'd be awesome.
That'd be great.
I would love to see that movie. But you got a situation where fans asked for, why can't we get a full animated film? And to give you perspective on that, the reason that you have all of these real people in the film is because they are selling the film. James Marsden, Jim Carrey, Keanu Reeves, Tika Sumpter's kind of new, so that wasn't a name being pushed at the time. Even the Ben Schwartz and all these other people, not the main billing, Idris Elba. Like, you got people that are really like trying to grab in, like the audience that aren't Sonic fans, in order to make this a worldwide release with a major studio. So there's a lot of red tape, there's a lot of changes, there's a lot of things that happen, and I think that it's hard to expect something to be, uninfluenced by executive producers, especially today. This industry is kind of established, and the producers and investors have the ideas that they want to have, and they want to see those things done, so they know that they're making their money rather than losing out.
Something that I heard, and I don't know if this is accurate or not, because I can't remember where I heard this from, but I heard that even if something is good and there's no notes, executives will still give notes because they feel like it's their job, and they're like, well, I have to give you notes.
Take horse medicine.
So it's just they have to.
Sometimes it is that, they feel like they have to give. Sometimes they genuinely have power trips, and they don't care that you're there, doing your job. They want what they want because they are concerned about, how is this going to make me money? And that's a tough place to be when you're looking at art as a product. And that's something that I struggled with when I was younger within the entertainment industry, is thinking about, how am I an artist when my job is to sell product? I'm not just making this thing for the sake of, it's my passion, it's my calling, and I want to make this thing until it, if this is what I got to do the rest of my life, that's what I'm doing. There is a huge money-making incentive behind the industry part of it, and that's why I enjoy a lot of independent projects so much, and watching people grow and get better, because especially the ones that don't take advantage of their audience. And I have tons to say on people just selling so much stuff to an audience and crowdfunding, and I'm not entirely in agreement with that, because especially with the state of the economy and people's livelihoods and whatnot, I think that part of the sacrifice you make as an artist sometimes is the fact that you got to put the project first. If you do good work, the money will follow, but the money can't be the first thing you're trying to do and put this thing out for. So
Precisely.
That's just my feeling on the situation.
I think Lady Grey is seeing the speakers from your desk, the white speakers.
Oh.
I think that's what she's saying.
Yeah, I see. Right in the back.
Yeah.
What did?
They're these small, orb-shaped white speakers. She said that, I think I see eyes behind Evelyn. I'm not sure what I'm seeing. And then she said, okay, what is that? I'm curious. Evelyn, can you tell me?
Feels like eyes.
I don't think.
Yeah, I feel like they're watching me now. I just feel kind of like a little paranoid.
That's funny.
Oh god, there's a bunch of people watching me. It's because I'm streaming.
That's hilarious.
I don't.
Perfect.
Yeah, nailed it. Yeah, don't worry, Lady Grey. It's not like some creature lurking in the darkness, like I'm currently doing.
I don't think
Lurking.
they would do it. I don't think.
Let's bring this back over here. And there we go.
I don't think they would do it.
Almost there. Think right here.
Oh, Liger mentioned something earlier back. She said, a bit off topic, but today I saw IDW Sonic comics for the first time in
I don't
real
think
life
they
in German.
Oh, cool.
I was like 30 to 60 euros for something I already read. I already spent too much money, but I fangirled so hard.
I don't think they would do it.
That's crazy that they're so expensive over there in Germany.
Yeah, that is
I don't
pretty
think
nuts.
they would do it.
I don't remember the last time that we bought IDW comics, but I think they were like $4, $5.
Yes.
They do.
Comic books used to be a lot less expensive. Inflation and economies go on and prices change, but
They would
Oh
do it.
yeah.
I have some comics from when I was a kid that are like 75 cents.
Oh wow.
And it's kind of wild to see how much more expensive they've gotten, because I don't know how you go, like, let's just say $4.99 or just $5 rounded up without tax, $5 times however many issues are out. That's a lot of cash. Like,
Big bucks.
but
I don't think they would do it. But you're not.
all right, so far we've got about 15 minutes left. Got quite a bit of work done.
And I said for people.
Oh, I did even more than I thought.
And I said for people to.
So I think this section is the next section we've gotten done so far.
Oh, okay, so she clarified. To be fair, it's the IDW collection of like the first 12 issues and
Okay.
the Metal Virus saga.
Gotcha. Okay.
She also
Gotcha.
said, I already got a Winx Club comic collection last week for 25 euros and fangirl just as hard.
Nice. Wings Club. I remember
I
the
still
Wings
haven't
Club.
seen anything Winx Club. I'm
It's
sleeping.
it's pretty intense. Like my sisters used to watch it. Speaking of, one of my sisters is visiting.
Yeah! I love her.
Yeah, it's been great having her. She used to watch it with my other sister Brooklyn, and I would like watch. I forget what would come on before, but basically it was like Digimon, I think, something like that. Would come on, and then after that was done, I would leave the room so they could watch the Winx Club, and I'd go like do something else. But a few times I'd stay because they would want me to watch it with them. And
That's so fun.
I watched a lot of episodes, and I was just like, this show's like really intense. Like, it's pretty wild.
Oh, Lady Gray's heading out.
Good to see you. Thanks
Thank
for
you
stopping
so much for
by.
hanging out. I hope you have a wonderful evening yourself.
Political
We'll
platform.
see you next time.
And I said for.
Oh, here we go. Okay, wow. I got
say
a lot of
on
work
a
done so
political
far.
platform. And I said for people to, I don't know, hypothetically, take horse medicine. I don't think they would do it.
Perfect.
Oh no!
Yeah, this is an old one.
That's so funny.
This is an old one.
That joke aged so well.
It did. I'm very happy about it. Let's see. I think if I'm correct, yeah. Okay. So this
That took me out. Oh my god.
this next shot is Sonic talking about that, and I don't remember if it goes back over to Shadow. Let's just see.
You're not
Oh my
a
God,
horse, you're a
that's so
hedgehog.
funny.
Why would you take horse medicine? Shadow, that doesn't make any sense. What are you talking about?
I'm just being hypothetical.
Okay, so perfect. Let's turn Sonic off. Why can't? Oh, here we go. Okay, so now I want something a little different now. And
Are you
I'm
gonna make new poses or use the ones that you have here?
I'm gonna at least use the ones that I have here as a base, if not make a new one.
I
But-
could see him going like I'm just being hypothetical.
Like,
Like I'm just being hypothetical. I don't know if that makes sense. He's pulling
yeah,
himself
yeah, I could see that.
hypothetical.
Let me use this as a base, and we'll go from there. We'll see how this looks.
Oh yeah, because that pose would work well too.
Let's just go and we'll put what you want in there for sure.
I'm just being.
I think that works pretty good,
Yeah.
but we're gonna need another pose. So I'm going to.
I'm just being.
Yeah, okay, that works.
I'm just being.
But you wanted something like this.
Yeah, I was thinking. I don't know. It's not my animation.
Let me hear. Like, you
It's
want?
like my idea was like I'm just being hypothetical.
So he's gonna put his hands back up.
like kind of like
this?
he's kind of like shrugging a little. I'm just being
Okay.
hypothetical. You know.
Well,
I'll
I'll
just give it to you.
tell you what. We'll do that. I can do that. That last
Just-
part.
being
And I'm gonna do. Let's do a new frame here. Let's do all channels, and
This
then
is so cool.
I'm gonna turn these off so I can kind of mess with his hands here. Gotta mess with his elbows.
Mess with the bows.
Gotta turn them out, and then we gotta rotate this guy back this way.
Can you believe it's already been 48 minutes?
Are you kidding? Oh my
No.
gosh.
Not even joking.
Well, we've gotten quite a bit of work done so far.
Indeed.
Okay, so something like that. Like with the left hand?
Oh yeah, I'm just being hypothetical.
Okay. Alright, let me go into here and let me turn you off and
Like kind of like a shrug, but also kind of like offering something too. Just
I
being
gotcha. I gotcha. Where's your elbow? Something like that, and we're gonna grab you and bring you up. Something like that.
Yeah, I'm just being hypothetical.
So I do a lot of offsetting when I pose the characters and their key poses.
Ooh, define offsetting.
It basically just means you don't have what's called twinning, which is like the hands in the same position
Oh, yeah.
or the legs or stuff like that.
Add a little visual variety.
I don't know if you guys know this, but like people or anatomical beings such as these hedgehogs, they all have like different characteristics and quirks and ticks and things like that, and we as people are not symmetrical. So you'll find with characters something that helps in animation. Offsetting helps you tell a little more of a story. If someone's got like an injury and they have a little bit of a limp on one side, or they are left or right-handed, they favor one side or the other. But in real life, it's very rare that you'll see, like, even when I lift up my hands here, technically, you could probably see it, Evelyn. My hands don't lift up evenly like this generally.
Yeah.
And when you see things like that in real life, it's very weird. Like,
Oh, yeah.
why is somebody doing it's completely even? Even moving in sync with your body,
Oh,
you're gonna try to compensate. So,
Oh, that's good.
Just blew your mind.
A little bit.
So I like to offset a lot when I'm posing the characters. Instead of putting the offset in later and doing the twinning at first, which you can do. You can go back and like clean things up.
Mhm.
I like to kind of think about, like, for this key pose, how would I offset this before kind of moving on. So let's go ahead to, we need to do something with his hips and his legs because he's kind of shifted right now. Let's go ahead and do that, and then we'll bring like this here. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. And let's put a keyframe on all channels. That way it makes sure it saves it where it's supposed to go.
I'm just being hypothetical.
That's nice.
I'm just being hypothetical.
So I like the shift in his hips.
I'm just being
I'm going to tilt his head down a little bit. Because that's a little too samey.
Could be like a little bit like a.
I think that's good. Yeah. I think that's good.
Yeah. Give me like 1 second. Sorry, I'm getting a call. That's all.
Let's do, I have to rotate. Something like that. Probably good. Alright.
Oh yeah, today's Friday. I'm sorry, my
Oh,
brain's a little
Cat?
fried. Yeah,
Our homie Cat.
I'm just being
I
hypothetical.
forgot
Yeah,
I was
that
gonna
feels
call
good.
her today,
I'm
and so
just
she
being
called me, and I was like, "I'll call you back in a minute,"
Cool.
and she's like,
I'm just being hypothetical.
"Yeah."
I'm going to give him one more pose.
Being hypothetical.
Like around here, I think. And I think it's going to be, I need something where he's got like his hand on his hips again. Maybe go with something like this. That'd be fun.
Oh yeah.
Let's do that.
Being hypothetical.
Oh yeah, because then he kind of like gestures forward a little.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm just being hypothetical.
I'm just being hypothetical.
Yeah, I like that.
Being hypothetical.
Let me bring you back a little sooner. Let's work on that timing a little bit. Maybe space that out.
Just being hypothetical.
I like it.
Alright. It's happening a little too fast. What are we working with? One in between. So I can change the timing here.
Hypothetical.
Yeah, that's better. That feels better.
I'm just being hypothetical.
Alright, I gotta reset his quill up here. So let me jump into this one. And I'm gonna bring you here. And that should level that out. Yeah, there we go.
Hypothetical.
Perfect. Alright. How we doing on time?
It is 7:55 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Thanks
5 minutes.
Thanks for being so specific.
Just
You're
being
welcome.
hypothetical. Okay. Hypothetical.
Curious. What do you got for me if we do that?
Being hypothetical. Hypothetical.
Yeah, that works. I like that. I like the little weird staccato
Being
kind of comedy.
I'm
Alright.
just being hypothetical.
Perfect. Let's see.
Okay. It's kind of difficult for me to, to use my imagination in such a strange way, but okay. Does anyone fall in love with the zombies?
Billie Eilish falls in love with Joey Fatone, who is a zombie.
Okay, so this part is going to be the corkboard.
Become a zombie in this world? Or
That's the question. The audience will have to wrestle with that.
So there's a philosophical viewpoint. Did you ever see Space Dandy?
Did I ever see Space Jammy? Yes.
No. Space.
Michael Jordan is a wonderful actor. We could bring him into this.
He is. You
Well-
know what?
Do you
Sure.
mind
Let's
if I go use the
bring
restroom?
Michael.
Go for it. A little bit of interesting information. So Michael Jordan is a wonderful actor. That line is in the opening of one of the previous episodes. What I do with the opening of Shadow the PitchHog is I will take lines from later episodes that you won't see yet, and I'll put it in the intro of previous episodes. So like that line must have been like episode 7 or 8, but this is episode 13. So I like to take some of the dialogue and kind of foreshadow what's to come. And I guess no pun intended there. Man, that felt bad. But yeah, it's a fun little thing that I do. So I don't know if you guys have seen with the intros in particular when it's the heads of Shadow and Sonic talking, but if you listen to the dialogue, you will hear those lines in later episodes. So kind of similar to how sitcoms or different types of styles of animated shows will, like when an episode ends, they'll update the next intro with some of the previous imagery from the last episodes. I do that with like future lines are going to be in previous episodes and stuff like that. So it's fun. I like doing stuff like that. Let's see.
Emmy? Yes.
No. Space.
Michael
Jordan
is a wonderful actor. We could
As
bring
you can
him
see,
into
I've
this.
listened to these lines a lot.
You know what? Sure. Let's bring Michael Jordan and bring Michael B. Jordan.
Oh my god.
Okay, cool. So this is where the next camera movement is. Dimitri says they call the term minisodes. Yes, with those intros with the shows. I mean, they basically are. It's kind of wild. Let's not turn that on. I have that on, so I'm gonna just stick a frame here, just so that I know where I am. I'm gonna take you and drop you in on this frame. But I'm also going to take you, so we don't have this unnecessarily large movement. And stick that here.
Two legends on screen. They could play.
E. Jordan.
Oh,
There we go. Let's bring you guys back here.
Bring Michael B. Jordan.
oh my god. Two legends. Oh my god. Two.
Okay,
God.
so let's bring just you back to the playhead there.
Oh my god.
So for two legends, I'm gonna do some handwork real quick. I think after I finish that pose, that will be the end of this stream. But I'm gonna work on that right now, and I think I'm gonna use previous. There we go. I'm gonna use you. It's a good base. It's important when you're animating or setting key poses that you do save as much of your work as possible, because it helps to speed the process up. Let's see, we're gonna need to go into here, and I'm gonna need to turn you over. Something like that. And then where Where's the elbow? Something like that. Something like that. Hello, welcome back.
Ooh, I'm back. What did I miss?
We're setting up our last pose,
Ooh,
which is
fun.
it's a brand new pose I'm making.
Nice.
Almost done with it.
Look at those beautiful long fingers.
Let's do local. This one's kind of. Oh, that's
Whoa.
why. This one's
That's
kind of
really
broken.
funny.
There we go.
There you go.
So, a little tip with animating fingers: if you go from global orientation to local, it helps unfurl the fingers better if you don't have shape keys for them and stuff like
Oh,
that.
smart.
And then
Demetrius is heading out. Have a great night.
yes, thank you for coming over.
Night Fury Lover said, "Oh, there you are, Evelyn. I thought Mel disintegrated you."
That's how I do, disintegrating people.
It is 8:02.
We're about to stop. I just wanted to get this last pose in, which I think I was able to do. Perfect.
Nice. Go, Melvin.
Okay, let me move this back. Let's copy you and paste you here. I will have to fix his thumb. I think. Maybe not. Oh no, that'll work.
Two legends.
Excellent. We did it. Thank you everyone so much for hanging out with us. Got a lot of work done. 7,300 frames ahead versus where we were earlier, like back here. Great job, everybody.
Yeah.
We will be back next week at the same time. We probably will be working on animation for collab episode 5, so hang out with us and we'll teach you some animation stuff and show you what we got going on. We'll keep you posted as always. Thank you, Sassnix, for joining. It's been great. Thank you, Evelyn, for coming on. Really appreciate it. Till next time, Sassnix. I can't say that. Jim says that. I need my own catchphrase.
All right. Catchphrase in 1, 2, 3.
When we come back, the Sassnix will rise.
Yes.
I think that's something like that. That's what I'm gonna go with.
There we
Anyway,
go.
bye everybody.